Hello and welcome back to Cryptocurrency Trading, Mastering Scalp Trading Strategies by Wealthy Education. In this video, I'll show some examples of how you might want to use Bollinger Bands. So you can see, I got a 5-minute phantom chart. You can see this is a previous resistance and support level. And notice how we just sliced right through the Bollinger Band there on high volume that then turned right back around. Anytime you see a candle give up that much of its gains, or in this case losses, on high volume, you kind of have to wonder whether or not there wasn't a big flushing event and there's nobody left to sell. Notice how we hit the SMA, the mean. We pull back, we touch the -2 standard deviations and then start to take off. So what I find interesting about this setup is you have that volume and then this offers support. We hit the moving average and then we break above, but notice we start to walk even higher and higher. And this is more or less a function of that support. The question is, okay, well, where could we go? Now, there's some candidates here. You can see that I have resistance there. And notice how we closed outside of the Bollinger Band at that point. Perfectly viable trade to take. You enter once you get back into normalcy and you stabilize, and you get out there. Decent volume there. That could also have you thinking, hey, maybe Phantom is about to turn around. Now, it did go a little higher over the longer term. But again, that's the whole idea about scalping. You're trying to get in and out rather quickly. In order to overcome market risk, quite frankly. So big squeeze here. We're just kind of squeezing along. This kind of broke things up and then we squeezed again. And notice how volume starts to pick up. Right along this area here. And we finally take off. And then we get this massive explosion. So Ethereum's really gaining on Bitcoin. The fact that we pulled back to -2 standard deviations and then turned around to show resiliency was your first clue that, hey, we're starting to build up real strength here. And, as far as getting out, this comes down to, do you take it when it closes outside or when it gets a wick? If you take it when it closes outside, as far as profit is concerned, you really don't get out of it until now on this candlestick. And that makes sense. Massive volume, big breakout of the Bollinger Bands there. And, there you go. And you do eventually run out of momentum there. If you shorted this for whatever reason, here's a sign of when you should get out. High volume, breaking the band. And we do, of course, go back to the normalcy. So that in and of itself, it can also tell you when it's time to exit a trade. And truthfully, that's probably where Bollinger Bands shine, that and the explosion from the Bollinger Band squeeze on short time frames. You can see we have another one there, and we really take off. Close outside of the Bollinger Band right here at an area where you would expect to see resistance. Go ahead and take a look at one more chart. Solana, get rid of these lines here. Okay. I had shown this chart earlier. Support, that's the breakdown, and then that's the takeoff. But this is a very interesting, this is what they call walking the Bollinger Band. This happens occasionally, and you can see if you think you have a move that really is going to take off, you buy it on a bounce from here because you are starting to see it kind of pick up, it takes off. So you can put your stop loss behind this moving average and you actually don't get out till up there. So that's walking the bands doesn't happen as much, but when it does, if you kind of hang on to it, you can really make some good returns. Again, Bollinger Bands, like I said, you'll notice I keep putting support resistance lines up no matter what we're looking at. There's a squeeze here. We break out to the upside, but hey, we get a little overdone, and then we eventually take off. But you'll notice the support and resistance is something that I keep coming back to. That's square one. That's your foundation for your house. So that concludes Module 2, Scalping Cryptocurrencies with Technical Analysis. What we're going to start in Module 3 is actual chart patterns. So you can take something like this and say, hey, this chart pattern normally means this, and the Bollinger Bands are also telling me that the market might be a little overbought. So this bearish candlestick, or this bearish pattern, the Bollinger Bands looking overbought, resistance, you start to put that all together and you really have a system coming together quite nicely. So starting next video, we will be talking